What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. And oh my goodness, do we have some massive news to break down for you today, because San Francisco is not playing around this offseason, not even a little bit. The 49ers have been under the microscope since last season ended in the most painful way possible, and right now, the front office is doing everything in its power to make sure that the 2026 season looks completely different from the disaster that unfolded in 2025. Today, we are talking about the scariest thing that could happen to every single offensive lineman and quarterback in the NFC, and honestly in the entire NFL, and that is the San Francisco 49ers potentially forming the most terrifying pass rush duo the league has seen in years. So buckle up, get comfortable, smash that like button right now, hit subscribe if you haven't already, and let's get into it. First things first, we have to set the stage here, because context is everything. The 49ers finished the 2025 season with just 20 sacks, the absolute fewest in the entire NFL. Let that sink in. The San Francisco 49ers, a franchise that has built its identity around elite defensive football, finished dead last in sack production. That is a jaw-dropping number for a team with their talent level, and it tells you everything you need to know about just how catastrophically injuries derailed their defensive unit. Nick Bosa, the 2022 NFL Defensive Player of the Year, went down with a torn ACL. First-round pick Michael Williams, selected 11th overall in the 2025 draft with enormous expectations, suffered both a torn ACL and a torn meniscus and played just 9 games before his season was done. And on top of that, Bryce Huff, who had been brought in to help fill the void, ended up retiring. When you lose those 3 players from your defensive front, 20 sacks is actually a miracle. But the question everybody has been asking all offseason long is, what is John Lynch going to do about it? And now we are starting to get some serious answers. The Right Way Network Yardbarker. Let's start with the player that has had the entire 49ers fan base going absolutely wild with excitement, and that is the very real possibility of a Bosa Brothers reunion in Santa Clara. We are talking about Joey Bosa, the older brother of Nick Bosa, who remains a free agent right now as we approach training camp. Joey Bosa is a 5-time Pro Bowl defensive lineman who has accumulated serious production throughout his career. He spent last season with the Buffalo Bills on a 1-year, $12.6 million deal. He recorded 5 sacks and 5 forced fumbles in 15 games with Buffalo, and at 31 years old, he has the experience, the football intelligence, and the pass rush technique to contribute immediately at a high level. Now think about what that would mean for this defense. That is not just a good duo. That is the kind of pairing that offensive coordinators lose sleep over. 49ers Web Zone, NBC Sports Bay Area. Sports Illustrated's Connor Orr has actually gone on record predicting that the Bosa brothers will play at least 5 games together in 2026, noting that San Francisco's still needy pass rush and Joey's lingering desire to play alongside his brother Nick will eventually draw him out of his extended offseason. That is a bold prediction, but when you look at the situation from every angle, it genuinely makes sense. The 49ers have the effective cap space to accommodate a veteran salary, and schematically this move fits perfectly under coordinator Robert Saleh's defensive system. The marketing angle alone would be historic. 2 brothers, both elite pass rushers, on the same NFL roster, terrorizing quarterbacks together in the same front 7. That has never really been done at this level before. And the fact that it could happen in San Francisco is enough to give every 49ers fan chills right now. Now, Kyle Shanahan has been asked about this situation, and he has been characteristically blunt about it. When reporters pressed him about the Joey Bosa possibility during OTAs, Shanahan said he loves signing good players, and even acknowledged that his own kids constantly ask him about it after seeing the chatter on social media. That is not a flat denial, people. When a head coach starts citing his children's Instagram activity in press conferences, you know this conversation is happening at every level of the organization. NBC Sports Bay Area. But here is where it gets even more interesting, because the 49ers are not just chasing one pass rusher this offseason. They are being linked to not one, but multiple elite edge options. And the second name generating massive buzz right now is none other than Jadeveon Clowney. Clowney proved he can still produce at a high level deep into his career, recording 8.5 sacks with the Dallas Cowboys in 2025 despite not even making his season debut until Week 4. That means in a partial season, working his way back into game shape week by week, Clowney was still one of the most productive pass rushers in the NFC. At 33 years old, that is remarkable. According to Pro Football Focus, Clowney posted a 79.2 overall defensive grade last season, generating 40 total pressures, 9 sacks, 29 hurries, 2 quarterback hits, and a forced fumble across 372 snaps. That came from a motivated veteran with something to prove. 49ers Web Zone Heavy Sports. Now here is the chess move that makes Clowney signing with San Francisco so absolutely brilliant and so dangerous for the rest of the NFL. The 49ers recently acquired defensive tackle Osa Odigizua, and Clowney already has established pass rush chemistry with Odigizua from their time together in Dallas last season. You cannot put a price on that kind of chemistry along a defensive front. When pass rushers already know each other's tendencies, already understand how they complement each other's games, already have a rapport built on real NFL reps together, the transition to a new team is seamless. You skip the learning curve entirely and go straight to execution. That is a massive deal, and it is one of the primary reasons CBS Sports analyst Garrett Podale specifically identified Clowney as the ideal fit for San Francisco above all other available pass rushers. Adding a healthy, proven pass rush threat like Clowney would also relieve some of the pressure on Nick Bosa and Michael Williams to rush back before they are fully ready from their respective ACL recoveries. That is smart roster management. That is playing the long game. 49ers Web Zone, 49ers Web Zone. And speaking of the long game, let's talk about the full picture of what this 49ers defensive front could look like in 2026. Because when you stack everything together, it is genuinely frightening. You have Nick Bosa coming back from his torn ACL, fully recovered and ready to remind the world why he was the Defensive Player of the Year. You have Michael Williams, who led the NFL in a run defense metric as a rookie before his injury, also expected back and ready to develop into the elite edge threat the organization drafted him to be. The 49ers also selected Texas Tech edge rusher Romello Height in the third round of the 2026 draft with the 70th overall pick, adding a young, athletic pass rusher to build depth on the roster. They also signed veteran Cam Sample to a one-year deal, a versatile defensive end who can play both on the edge and inside, giving coordinator Robert Saleh multiple ways to deploy his front seven in different formations and situations. Yardbarker +2. Now you fold in Joey Bosa or Jadeveon Clowney, or, in the most terrifying scenario for the rest of the league, potentially both. And suddenly you are looking at a defensive front with legitimate depth, veteran leadership, young upside, and proven production at every level. That is not just an improved pass rush from last year's disaster. That is a unit that could legitimately be the best in the NFC and one of the best in the entire NFL by midseason. The context matters here too, because the Los Angeles Rams have gone all in on their Super Bowl window, acquiring star pass rusher Myles Garrett in a blockbuster trade. The NFC West is no longer just competitive. It is an arms race. The Rams just added one of the 3 or 4 best pass rushers in NFL history to an already dangerous roster. And the 49ers cannot afford to show up to that division fight without their own weapons. John Lynch knows this. Kyle Shanahan knows this. The entire organization knows this. The moves they are making right now, the players they are pursuing, the veterans they are bringing in, all of it is a direct response to the reality that the NFC West in 2026 is going to be one of the most brutally competitive divisions in the history of professional football. Yard Barker. Here is what I want you to think about as we close this out. Last season, the 49ers recorded just 20 sacks. They finished dead last. Their pass rush was a ghost. Opposing quarterbacks had all day back there. And they still finished the regular season at 10-8, made the playoffs, and beat the Philadelphia Eagles in the wild card round before running into a red-hot Seattle team in the divisional round. Now imagine what this team looks like with a healthy Nick Bosa. Now add Michael Williams fully healthy on the other side. Now add Clowney and his chemistry with Odigizua up the middle. Now add Joey Bosa as the veteran insurance policy that elevates this group to another level entirely. That is not an 8-win defense. That is a Super Bowl caliber defense. That is a unit that can dominate a game from the first snap, that can force turnovers, that can change field position, that can carry an offense when things get difficult. The 49ers are building something special here, and the rest of the NFL should absolutely be paying attention. This is not a team rebuilding. This is a team reloading, and they are doing it with the kind of urgency and intelligence that has always defined this franchise at its best. The Monsters are coming to Santa Clara, and when they arrive, no quarterback in the NFC is going to feel safe. That is the San Francisco 49ers 2026 pass rush, and it might just be the scariest thing in football. Let me know in the comments below. Do you think they signed Joey Bosa? Do they go get Clowney? Or do they get both? I want to hear your thoughts. Drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and we will see you in the next